Hey everybody, my AOL password here with another video game review. Today we will be reviewing Borderlands 4. This game came out on September 11th, I believe. September 11th of 2025. Continuation of the Borderlands franchise. And I will just give a personal, I guess more opinionated review. No way, shape, or form a professional review or anything. So this is just straight from experience and my own point of view and perspective. Overall, I enjoyed the game. Um, if I gave it a 10 scale, I'd probably give it a 7.5, 8. I really loved the game. It was a very well done, to the extent of very well done. I enjoyed the new open world formula that they're using. It is not like the previous games in the franchise where you travel across little maps. They give you one big map, and you can just travel with different regions, and you can just travel through that, and it's all the same map, except for like one or two areas where you're not actually on the map, but you that is part of the story. I will not be talking about the story in this, outside of like the generic, you're a vault hunter and you have to figure out what the vaults and all that stuff. It is slightly a different formula of the story compared to the previous games. You are Timekeeper is a new boss, new um, villain, if you want to call it, antagonist. Um, there are some characters from previous games that you will see in throughout the story. So that is uh, that I guess all I will say about the story is miles better than Borderlands 3. It is not Borderlands 2 or pre-sequel level of writing, but it is miles better than 3. I think it's probably better than Ones and Wonderlands and their stories. But it is it is good enough for you to remember it. The skill tree, like what you see in the video, uh, much a lot different than the previous games. Uh, a lot more expansive, I guess. I think is the right term for that. Uh, which means you can have more builds, more diversity in said builds. It's almost like its own skill tree within the skill tree in a way. But you guys can figure all that out when you do play it if you end up wanting to play it. But it is a lot bigger than previous games in the franchise, and it brings a lot more diversity to said skill trees. There are four vault hunters. There will be two extra vault hunters within the future DLCs that you have to pay for through the whether it's through the season pass stuff or um I think it's called like the either it's either the Vault Hunter pack, which is probably what it is, or like the Bounty Hunter pack or something. The season pass for the game is where it will come through. Um yeah, optimization wise is its biggest downfall. I think it is the worst in the franchise in terms of optimization, but I think that is also the model of the business, the gaming industry right now. Like modern games aren't optimized as they should be on release, whether it's the developer's fault or not. Um, but they are. It is poorly optimized, worse than the franchise. It relies heavily on upscalers and frame gen and um, all the extra stuff that should be like it becomes mandatory in a way versus optional. Um, like I know a lot of people, especially on the PC side, a lot of people were struggling with like even with the newest hardware and the newest graphics cards, the newest. CPUs were still struggling with this game to even hit regular 1080 60. But this game is also fairly new, and that I'm sure it will be polished out over time. Uh, as it took Borderlands 3 like 2 years to finally get where it needed to be in terms of optimization. This game has only been like a month old, but it still works. If you even if you have minimum specs, you can still get it to work. My PC was under the recommended specs of the game, and it still struggled for a while. I had to play it at 30 frames to even on like low just to have it stable. Um, yeah, so outside of like the performance and optimization, it is really well done. The looting aspect is still the same as as it is with Borderlands, as you guys know from previous games in the previous games in the franchise. I almost said franchise, but previous games in the franchise, it still has the same formula. Uh, yeah. I think the combat is a little better balanced out. They did add the grappling hook mechanic, as a lot of fast-paced games now have in terms of shooters. Which isn't bad nor good. It's just another mechanic. um, there's no new. I like the enemies in terms of enemy variety. There's a lot of variety when it comes to like different enemy tiers. Whether it's like base tier, the baddie tiers, or even the bosses. There are world bosses that are like, I wouldn't say radiant, but more randomized world bosses throughout the map that pop up um, during your time. Um, they're not like timed or anything, but they're constrained, which is also a cool mechanic. Um, so if you leave the bubble circle or boss circle, they disappear, and you have to wait for them again to spawn in another location or whatever. But it is overall a fun game. It has the Borderlands feel to it. Um, it 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 gives you that looter shooter itch. The open world formula is, to me, reminds me of a Ubisoft or Bethesda game. If you think of like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or Star Wars Outlaws, it has that same open world formula to it, or even like Fallout or Elder Scrolls. Um, but it is very fun. I do plan on playing it more. I only played with one character so far. I will say Endgame is not necessarily there yet, given that it's only a month old game, and I know there's future updates and future content going to be pushed out over the next, I don't know, year. I don't know what the actual time frame is, but there is a roadmap if you want to check their website on the Borderlands website. So it is all there. Um, yeah, the manufacturers. There's new manufacturers, and there's manufacturers that they left out from previous games. There's no Atlas, but they added, I don't know how to pronounce it, Delado, and the Order, which is the faction of the antagonist. Um, that is the antagonist's faction. It's called the Order, and they have their own manufacturer as well. But you still get the Jacobs, the Tedior, the Vladov, the Maliwan, um, and all all the other all of those as well. No doll, but there is doll in the game, but there's no doll weaponry that I am aware of. Farming and bosses are a lot easier. They have like a mechanic called Encore, which like right before the boss fight, there's like it's a Moxie machine that lets you you pay the in-game cash thing um, to reset the boss without having to like exit the game and reloading the game. It saves a lot of time and it's much more efficient if you're like heavily farming for stuff. I know there are dedicated drops as well as world drops. It's not as spontaneous and abundant as Borderlands 3, because I know Borderlands 3 had that problem with giving too many legendaries, whether it's world drops or dedicated. But it is a lot less. You can still get legendaries and vendors, and the legendaries are still good. Um, yeah. So if you are a looter shooter guy, if you love the Borderlands franchise, you love looter shooters, I would recommend this game. Not at its current state if you don't have the well, if you're on console, you're on console, but if you're on PC, if you don't have the specs, do not buy it right now. I'll either wait for a sale, or I don't want to say get a better PC or upgrade, but wait for patches to come out because I know there'll be performance patches. I know there'll be optimization updates and stuff like that. I know they've already pushed out a few of those since launch, um, and I'm sure it will take a while for them to get the ball rolling in that. So, um, but if your PC can handle it, or if you want to buy it on console, it is a fun game. I recommend it. Um, and you guys can play the story for yourself. So I don't want to spoil anything. So there you go. But that is my personalized review. Thanks guys for watching this video. If you want to see my other personal, unprofessional, cringe-worthy uh, game reviews, they're on. You can look past. They're on the channel. Don't forget to drop a like, a subscribe, write down in the comments what you like or don't like about the game or whatever. And I will see you all in the next video. So adios.